Hey guys! Alright, so I was gonna do a video yesterday and I just did not get around to it. And I'm working straight through Wednesday, so yeah. Safety. Okay, this video is gonna be a short little one and it's on water bath canning and pressure canning. I apologize that it's been a few days since I did a video. Time. We've been trying to get ready for my sister coming down, and I was working on my quilt a few nights ago, like several nights in a row, to be honest. So, finally got all my quilt blocks cut. I think I already told you guys that. I've got more coming. So, when that comes, which should be Sunday, I'll probably start working on that and cutting that. But that's for the quilt that I'm working on, the one that I've actually been sewing on. That's for the second half of the quilt. And once I get that done, I'm going to have to measure it and then order the cotton batting. It's going to be 100% natural. The quilt blocks are not, unfortunately, but it's going to be the 100% natural batting, and then I'll have to start looking around for the back, for the fabric for the back. So, anyway. So again, this little video is going to be on water bath canning and pressure canning. Trying to think of anything else. Anyway, I'll worry about that at the end of the video. I'm trying to talk really fast. Alright, water bath canning. I still have to get my water bath canner too, you guys, and my pressure canner. Elaine's bringing me some jars, which I'm really happy about. Today she's picking up our stuff from Aaron, the stuff that he found, and I'm pretty sure he found everything. I hope the tub that he found with the clothes in it is the right one that has all the right stuff in it, because otherwise I'm going to have to get on another video with him and make sure we have time for him to pretty much open all of the tubs and look in them. So, anyway. Alright, water bath canning, you guys. Water bath canning is the simplest and probably the cheapest form of canning as far as an investment in equipment goes. I'll vouch for that. A water bath canner is essentially a stock pot with a lid and an inside rack that holds the jars. New water bath canners are not expensive, but I've bought about 3 of them for a few dollars each at yard sales and thrift stores. Most of the thrift stores finds don't have the inside rack, but you can make do with a spare canning jar rings lining the bottom. Actually, you can go on Walmart.com or Amazon and buy the rack for the inside of it. A water bath canner is good for processing high acid foods. Pressure canners can be used, but they take a bit longer. Okay. Sorry, I'm still a little bit tired. All right, I'll read that paragraph again. A water bath canner is good for processing high acid foods. Pressure canners can be used, but they take a bit longer. First, clean all the equipment and jars. Use a clean jar lifter after you clean your jars to handle them to prevent contamination from your hands, even though they should be clean, right? Next, pack the jars with food. While you can raw pack your food, pouring boiling canning solution over the raw food packed in the jars, I recommend that you hot pack your food. Hot packing involves cooking your food for several minutes in the canning solution before putting it in the jars. This reduces air in the food, and therefore in your jar, which helps prevent bacteria growth and food shrinkage. Okay. I'll have to remember that. But I don't want to cook it too long because you want your food to retain the nutrients as much as possible. After packing your jars, you'll use a special tool called the bubble remover to remove air bubbles by putting it in all the way into the jar and then shaking the jar. Once the bubbles have been removed, put a lid on the jar. Magnetic lid holders are available and prevent you from touching the lids with your hands. I'll have to remember that too. And I have wanted one of them, I just don't have one right now. Screw a ring a jar ring onto the jar tightly to hold the lid down while the canning seal is set. Finally, using a jar lifter, place the jars into the canner and get the water boiling. As noted previously, different foods need different boiling times, so check a reference book to ensure you don't overcook or undercook it. Once the jars are done, pull them out of the canner with the jar lifter and put them on the counter to cool. As the jars cool, you might hear a ping or a pop as the lids seal. It's a lot of fun. After cooling, check the jars to make sure the seal is set. Push on the tops of the jars and check for give. If the lid moves up and down, the seal did not set properly. If it isn't set, you can eat the food within a few days, store it in the fridge, or reprocess the contents entirely. Be sure to throw away the faulty lid. Once your jars are sealed, you can remove the rings and use them for other jars. The lids will remain on the jars without the ring. See, I've never done that, and my mom didn't either. Okay. A note on green beans. Many people, myself included, have memories of their grandparents canning green beans with a water bath canner. Green beans are low acid foods and should be canned with a pressure canner. I used my pressure canner in Michigan. My used one that I had. Yes, my sainted granny canned green beans in a water bath canner, and I've eaten countless jars of green beans from her stores and I didn't get sick. Because I got lucky. She got lucky, and all the other people who did it before us got lucky. Some of them did not, however. Improper canning has led to sickness. Instead of risking it, just follow the safety instructions. Canning jar rack hack. To make a rack for your water bath canner using canning rings, just place clean, sterilizing isn't required, canning rings with a small side of the ring up on the bottom of your canner. Cover the base of the pan with as many rings as you can fit, packing them in as tightly as you can. If you still have some looseness in your rings, don't worry, the jars will sit on top of the rings. The whole point is to prevent the jars from touching the bottom of the pan, and the rings to do a fine job of this. That's a good idea, but again, you can also buy a rack online as well. Okay, pressure canning. Pressure canning is a bit more complicated than water bath canning. Pressure canners have devices, either counterweights or gauges, that tell you how much pressure is inside the canner. Counterweights prevent steam from leaving the canner until a certain pressure is achieved. Gauges show you the internal pressure of the canner on the outside. Some gauges offer users the ability to set a pressure. Once that pressure is achieved, the canner emits steam. Pressure canners must be sealed when they are in use, and they must be vented of excess air before using. Especially when you put your jars in a pressure canner along with a predetermined amount of water and seal it, there's still some air inside of the canner. The air expands at a different rate than the steam from the water, giving a false pressure reading, which can lead to faulty seals on your jars. Once you put heat in your pressure canner, the water inside will boil until it becomes steam. The steam will push air out of the canner through the vent port, the part of the canner lid where the pressure indicator sits. After 10 minutes of steaming, the air is completely out of the canner. Then the pressure indicator is put back on the vent port. When the pressure is high enough, remove the canner from the heat. Once it cools, open the vent port and release the pressure. Once the pressure is completely relieved, remove the lid, take the jars out with a jar lifter, then let them cool and seal. Do not force cool your pressure canner. Some home canners will run cool water over a hot pressure canner. Not only can this cause broken and damaged seals, it can also cause cracks in the canner, which can lead to a dangerous release of steam. Check the owner's manual of your pressure canner for more safety information. Again, test the seals with the method listed for the water bath canners. Remove the rings and store the jars. Okay. Pressure canner replacement parts. Cooperative extension offices sell seals and other parts for pressure canners. If your local extension office does not have replacement parts, they can direct you to stores that sell replacement parts. Designated cooperative extension agents can also inspect your pressure canner for cracks, damaged seals, and safety. Most cooperative extension offices provide this service for free for a small fee. For your safety and for better results when canning, it's a good idea to have your pressure canner inspected at least once a year. Okay, and that was on water bath canning and pressure canning. And the next one is going to be on storing canned goods and top 5 canning mistakes. So I'm going to go ahead and get off from here, and I'll get this one up there, and I will see you guys in a few minutes on the next video. So, all right, I'll go over everything else in the next video, and I will see you guys in a few minutes. Bye, guys. Check your subscriptions. Always check your subscriptions to make sure you're still subscribed. Make sure that your little bell is still clicked and that you're still clicked on all so you get all the notifications for the videos. I will see you guys in a few minutes. Bye, guys.